Tell me about a time when you wanted to quit, but you didn't.
What does perseverance actually mean to you in business?
What is the hardest thing you've had to face in real estate? If you're an agent and you're going through tough times right now, my advice for you is welcome back to Self-Made.
Today, Ty and I are sitting down to talk about something that every agent deals with, perseverance. The market's been tough lately and a lot of agents are struggling. So we wanted to share some real talk about what it actually takes to keep going when things get hard. Let's jump right into it. What does perseverance actually mean to you in business, in this business?
Are you asking me or should I ask you first? Okay, perseverance for me means never giving up on yourself. Doesn't matter what anyone is doing.
That's the end of the show, guys.
It's me against me. And when things get tough, I don't look at the tough. I only look at what I have to do next. It's just the next baby step that I have to overcome. And I remember one of my clients lost a $100,000 earnest money check.
I love this story.
Okay, this is a real thing. And when we found out that we could not get the $100,000 back, my stomach sank. And I had no idea how I was gonna get this $100,000 back.
I lost $2,500 once for earnest money and my stomach sank. I actually paid for that. And that was my rent money, by the way, because I was on the come up. I just started wholesaling, so I can only imagine what you felt like when it's $100,000. That's a big earnest money check.
It was, and it was during that market where the market was so hot. Everybody was waiving earnest money. Everybody's waiving inspection, title contingency. They did everything they could to get the house because rates were at 3.25. Now they're at 6.5. Anyway, so she's probably going to be watching, and it's a true story. First of all, I made the call, and I said, I am accountable for losing this $100,000 no matter what. And if I have to write you a check for $100,000, I will. I'm gonna figure this out. Every day I woke up and I knew that I could not focus on the 100. I knew I had to focus on what I had to do next to get me closer to closing that gap of 100,000. And every day we were chipping away of talking to the managing broker, see if we can get at least 25% of that back or even 10% of that back, and working through that situation. And guess what? We were so persistent. We received 40% of that earnest money back.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And we were able to attain 40% of that earnest money
Was
back.
it like 40,000?
Yes, 40,000. So it's like, okay, I'm almost halfway there.
Wow, good job.
So now if I cut the check, I'm not $100,000 deep. We found her another house. And God, my angels, something protected me.
Your grandmother.
My grandmother, my higher spirit, I don't know what it was. Buddha, whatever it was. We found her another house. It was 1.4 million and it paid out 3% commission. That's normally never, I don't think I've ever seen a 3% payout. Now it's normally, if you're over $1 million, I would say 2.5%. It was 3%. So we were short only, I think, like 3,000 or 4,000. I was like, I'll write that check all day. We cleaned it up. I wrote her a check, and she's so happy with her home. And I think what I learned most about that situation was it wasn't about the money. It was saving our relationship. She meant so much to me. I love her so much that I would never let the money get in the way. And if I had to write her a $100,000 check today, I would. Because that's how much her friendship meant to me. And she was under my eye, and we missed that mark. And so that's perseverance. Learning to navigate through the hard and not worrying to, I mean, yes, it's painful to lose money, but I was so focused on our relationship that I really didn't focus on the money. The only thing I focused on every day for an entire month to get the 100,000 back was how I was going to save our relationship. And I got through it. And here I am today, and she's still my best friend.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, the power of the mind is not a joke. Like, you know, you were, obviously you felt immense amounts of pressure, but you also visualized like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta find, you know, it just shows you how powerful the mind is, because you just attracted that 100,000 to where, as you just said, it's not traditional for like $1 million+ listing to offer 3%. You got the 40K back, which blows my freaking mind. Blows my mind even more that seller made 60,000, which is crazy. And then also that you know, another thing is just the amount of integrity that you have and how much you care. I don't think most real estate, I think a lot of real estate agents would have just tapped out just from the beginning. But you know, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about you. This is why I always, you know, have so much love for you, and I'm always rooting for you, because they don't get to see this side of you unless somebody like knows you the way that I know you. Unless we're having lunch or we're having coffee or we're having a meeting, people don't know you really are built different. This is your 23rd year in real estate. You continue to crush it. You have a massive team. You're pretty much a god, and I say that in a very humble way here in the Seattle area. But you know, you have so much integrity that I'm the very same way, right? Like attracts like, where you're like, I'm just gonna give my 60,000 to this client because we both know, you know, relationships is everything. You know, I remember when I was living in Miami, I had just moved there, and the market had just turned, and I had multiple flips on the market, and they were just sitting. But I was just like, you know, I could have waited for them to sell, then I could have left, but I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna figure it out once I'm over there, 3,000 miles away. Yeah. And I finally offloaded the property. It just happened, things just happen magically once you just kind of let go. And you know, like I said, you use the power of the mind, you manifest it. We're big believers in manifesting. That's why I'm saying the power of the mind is not a joke. But the last property that I was offloading, we closed. And mind you, I'm 3,000 miles away. And is it 3,000 miles away? I had just hired some new contractors because I was having issues with my previous contractor. Mm-hmm. And of course, as you know, they took advantage of me. Yeah. You know, please, if you're a contractor, like, you know, you got to do better business, guys. And if you're a real estate investor, real estate agent, you know, some of the best advice I can give you, and I posted it in our leadership group today: trust but verify. Yes. Because these guys will tell you all these nice things, but you have to verify that. You know, I learned that from a gentleman in Texas, Robert Martinez. At the time he had 7,000 units, and he said, I did a mastermind thing with him. He said, don't just trust but verify. Like on the business side, trust and verify the person. And so, anyways, they took advantage of me. They said we're going to do it in 2 months. It took 6 months. Ended up adding all these additional costs at the end. And I was still so new. You know, I just didn't know what I didn't know, so I'm grateful for it because I'm definitely much smarter now. I have a great team now. You met Huey, and I love him. He always comes through for me. So I'm grateful for those guys, because if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't have known what a good contractor is, what a good contractor isn't. It kind of breaks my heart because I was really rooting for them, and I wanted to build something with them. You know how I am. Yeah. I want to take care of them. But anyways, we closed on his house, and then right at closing, the agent calls him, and he's like, "Hey, there's an issue with the countertops." So mind you, I'm in Florida. I call the contractors. I'm like, "Hey, can you guys go there and fix those countertops?" And they said, "Yeah, we'll go there." So they go. Mind you, the seller can't use her kitchen for a couple weeks. And they go in there, supposedly they fix the countertops, but I get a call from the seller. She's like, "Hey, it's even worse than it was before." So at that point, I'm like, man, I got to fix this because, you know, my reputation is on the line. My reputation is very important to me, just like you. So I literally get a whole new contractor, send them in there, replace the whole kitchen for her. After closing, I replaced the whole kitchen. I pay a whole different contractor. I don't ask anything from the other contractors because I was just like, you couldn't do it right from the beginning. You're most likely not going to do it right now. So yeah, integrity is big to us. So I love your story, and that's the story that I have.
What does it mean to you? Perseverance.
It just means you know, just keep going when things get hard, and you know, have faith. I'm a big believer in God, so keep the faith. Keep going. You know, storms don't last forever. You know, storms pass, and I just think like with my mother is you don't do anybody dirty, because sometimes out of survival, you know, you tend to want to take a shortcut and it might hurt someone, and so do things the right way. Don't hurt others. Hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah.
Don't be one of those.
Yeah, and that leads me to the next question. Tell me about a time when you wanted to quit but you didn't. What kept you going?
A time I wanted to quit but I didn't. I would say almost a year ago. I've been off of socials for about a year now.
Has it been that already?
It's going to be a year in August, and we're already in May. So,
wow.
And that's crazy. Like the amount of discipline.
This guy deleted everything.
You can't find me on social media.
Maybe on X?
Yeah, maybe on there, but I like to keep that private. About a year ago, I deleted my social media, and the reason for that is because I was putting myself in so many different environments. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Rooms, yeah.
So many rooms, and so I was meeting a lot of people, and sometimes some people are very good actors, and normally I'm always protecting my energy. I'm protecting who I keep around me, but sometimes. As we're trying to grow this thing, we gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I was doing a little bit of that, and I was networking, which is a very important thing for our business, especially as leaders, and we're growing a team. And I think I didn't do my due diligence on certain people. However, there's no way that I can really tell, like, is this person for real? Is this person not for real? Sometimes the only way to trust is to trust. I don't know if that makes any sense. I heard that once, and I'm a big believer in that. So I trusted, it wasn't one. I would probably say like 10 different individuals. And I just felt like I got backstabbed maybe like 10 different times. So I think that was a part of the reason why I deleted my Instagram. I just needed to kind of heal, recover, and just protect my energy. And so that was a moment when I thought about quitting, because it hurts. Being betrayed, being backstabbed, like dealing with people who are two-faced. And so what kept me going, I think I just wanted, I know my daughter is obviously one of those things. I told you the story about how one of those individuals actually made my daughter cry. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of give you the severity of these things that happened, I actually want it really, really bad. I want success really, really bad. I think a lot of people look up to us, and so it might have not even been for myself. It's just like, I know that people on our team are going through it, and I want to set the example for them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have the option just like you to quit, but I'm gonna keep going, and I want you to see.
Yeah, and I love that about you, and I'm glad we're talking about this because there's so many people that come to me and it's like, where's Izzy? Where has he been? And we haven't seen him. And I don't want to repeat what you've said a million times. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation. And I'm super proud of you for being able to shut it off and know yourself.
Yeah.
And not worry about everybody else. And know that you need to protect your own energy. That's so important. And kudos to you. Sometimes I'm like, should I do the same?
It's really hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
And I love that you embrace the hard and you're willing to do what's right for you. And when you're whole, I think you make us better. And people forget
1,000%.
that. I think people forget that if you don't know what makes you whole, then you're not able to give to other people because you're living in lack.
I have the right people where, I know like you guys give me that space where like, hey, I need to, like, you don't make me feel bad about it or guilty. Like if I tell you, hey, I'm going to take a step back, I'm going to go, I traveled literally from August till January. I was everywhere. And you never once made me feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of, I think you understood what I was doing. And I would also say, you set that example. I watched you do it, and I watched you lead by example. I've watched you on your journey, and I try and follow a lot of the stuff that you do.
I think I get that from you too. Vice versa, right? Energy bounces between two people or a community. And when I'm busy with my kids and I have a lot going on, I don't ever feel guilty for spending time with my family or needing to take a break from what I need to do. And when I'm not in the office for a week, you don't never make me feel guilty. You always say, I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold it down while you figure it out. And vice versa.
Yep.
When you need a break, I'm going to hold it down.
Yep. And you do a great job at it.
And now, it's not just the two of us.
Yeah.
Which is the beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
The beautiful thing now is we have Christina, we have Diane, we have so many powerful leaders.
Maribel, Jonathan, Tiffany.
Jonathan, there's so many. I can't name them all. But now we have such dynamic individuals in our community that it's just not me holding it down, not just you. And I think that's the ingredients to moving mountains.
Yeah.
And it started from us.
Yeah.
Respecting.
Yeah.
And supporting and loving on each other.
Yeah. The craziest part is the universe is going to test you before it blesses you. And we definitely got tested. Like so many, like it'll test you 1,000 times to make sure. And for me, it's still testing me, presently. Because what I'm saying is going to test you 1,000 times plus to make sure. I need to make sure this is what you're really serious about. This is something that you really want before I bless you with it.
Right. And that leads me to my next question. What is the hardest thing you've had to face in real estate? Because we are both real estate investors. We have a lot.
I got something for you, and you guys nobody's gonna believe this question. And I've never talked about this. I've never talked about like this is like I can't believe like I'm in such a beautiful place right now.
This is juicy. I'm ready.
This is like the juiciest thing I'm gonna drop.
I'm ready. Is there popcorn here?
The question is, what's the hardest moment you faced in real estate so far?
I have one. I want to hear yours, and then I'm going to unload mine.
Okay.
Let's go.
We go back to COVID. I mainly did wholesaling. And so it requires certain things to happen for you to do wholesaling successfully. Now, if you crushed it during COVID as a wholesaler, kudos to you. It was very challenging for me. And so I think part of the reason for that is sellers weren't as motivated because laws had changed where they're saying, hey, you don't have to pay your mortgage. We'll just add it on the back end. We'll figure it out after this thing passes. Remember those laws?
Yeah, I remember.
So I hit a wall. When I hit this wall, I had communicated it with this individual. And I said, hey, like this, this is really difficult. I think I'm going to just throw in the towel. And instead of this person trying to encourage me or give me some words of encouragement, and maybe you just didn't know how to do that. So I forgive you for it. They pretty much did the opposite. They did something to hurt me really, really bad to where I no longer wanted to be here. They hurt me really, really bad where I no longer wanted to be. See, I'm getting like, this is crazy that I'm even going into this. I apologize in advance. I didn't want to be here no more. So I got to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna quit doing real estate and I'm gonna go find a regular 9-to-5. Because it's COVID. I hit this wall. I'm in a relationship with the wrong person. I should probably take more responsibility. I take responsibility for everything. I'm not pointing the finger. Anyways, this person, I part ways with this person. Take some time, right? There's a lot of like on and off thing because of how much I love them. And then I finally got to the point where like, okay, enough is enough. And then I'm at church one day during COVID, and my pastor at the time, his name's Judah Smith from, I think it's Church Home, because it's been a long time. He's telling a story about how these guys are fishing, and they're throwing a net on the right side of the boat, and when they every time they're pulling up the net, the net is empty. There's no fish. And then Jesus is on the shore, and he's yelling to them. He's like, yo, dummies, have you tried the left side? Have you guys tried the other side? And they're just like, who the hell is that? Like, that guy doesn't know anything about fishing. So they throw the net on the left side, and then when they're taking the net out, it's snapping from how many fish they got from the other side. So somehow in that moment, my mind translated that story as maybe I should try the traditional real estate side and work with buyers and sellers. And then I did that. And then I made, at the time, I made the most amount of money that I ever made. And I just crushed it after that. But that moment was probably, I know it's like very personal, it's kind of intimate. I can't believe I just shared that. Was the most difficult time for me in real estate because I was ready to quit. I was, for that reason, I was ready to quit. I was in a very low, dark place. So If you find yourself in a place like this, or you got people around you that are not supporting you, remove them from your life and keep going. Because, Winston Churchill, if you're going through hell, keep going.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
And I was there when you were going through that journey.
Yes, you were.
And thinking back and looking at you now, you had to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Without that, you wouldn't be here today. And those experiences made you stronger. And also, I think the biggest thing is making you more grateful to this new journey that you're on.
Yes.
To be continuing on that one. Okay.
Yo, I kind of want to cut all that out. I can't believe I just shared that.
No, that was good. Okay, you can think about that, but it was very good.
Okay. That was like the rawest I could get. I've never shared that with like
Well,
anyone.
when you said you weren't gonna, like, you were hitting a roadblock, I had a, you know. Okay.
Let's go into your story of your hardest time you've ever faced in real estate so far.
Okay.
I can only imagine 23 years.
Yeah. So the hardest time I've faced in real estate is within the past 2 years, and I don't ever talk about it because I want to focus on what I can control and not talk about stuff that I cannot control.
Powerful.
And this is going into a construction with my dad, my brother. This individual is probably watching. We went into a contract to build some properties, and it was our fault. We didn't read the contract, the operating agreement correctly. We did not take time to hire the attorney to look at it. And I remember what you said, pay now or pay later. You remember that? We didn't pay an attorney to look at it. We didn't review it correctly. And we did not build within the time frame that was committed because of the changes in construction regulations, right? When some individuals in the city says, yes, you can build, and then someone else jumps in and says you can't, you're just screwed. You're just fucked. And then you start all over again. And the timeline did not work. And in the agreement, we were punished $100,000. Why is it always $100,000? I don't know. But we were punished for $100,000 and not being able to build on time.
And so when you say you're punished in the agreement,
we had
you guys have to pay this individual $100,000.
Correct. And it was very stressful.
That 100,000 number just keeps haunting you.
I know. I hope this is the end of it, knock on wood.
It is going to be the end of it.
It's going to be the end of it. I became smarter and much wiser because of these, these life lessons. And I sat down, we met, talked to my brother, talked to my dad, and eventually we figured out how to find that 100,000. And the great thing is we have investments. And this is for every real estate agent out there. If you don't own a rental property or you have investment property, when hard days comes, you're gonna struggle to figure out where you're gonna find that 100 or 200,000 that's going to take you through the hard times. If you're a real estate agent and you're not investing, you're gonna fall apart when the market changes. Real estate is all about building your wealth and not building someone else's wealth.
Oh, I just have to, that just hit me so hard. If you're not investing, you're going to fall apart. The name of our team is the Agent Investor Group. And let me tell you, I considered myself an amazing real estate agent. I'm questioning myself more lately about that. And I would say that what's really kept me afloat is my real estate investments. Had I not invested in real estate, when all the money was coming in, I would be out. I would be out right now.
Same. And there's no way I would have been able to buy a property in California as a second property and be able to pull $1 million out and put it on a down payment on an investment property. Had I not invested 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody out there I see on IG traveling, YOLOing in life, let me tell you, when you get sick, you break a leg or something happens to you,
pay attention,
and
guys.
You cannot sell a house, you're going to go back to the 9-to-5 W-2 working at, a regular job where you have to answer to someone. don't chase the shiny penny. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If I go back, I would drive a fucking Corolla or a Honda Civic. I don't care. I drove a Kia van with 2 kids. And I think I paid like $7,000 for that Kia van so that I could drive my kids, so that I could buy 3 rentals.
That's a lot of money for a Kia van, $7,000. I think so.
I mean, that's all I had.
Yeah.
Paid $7,000 for that Kia van. And I saved every single penny and was able to buy 3 rentals. And that 3 rental during that period is giving me the life that I have today. And when we bought that house and we closed last week, I sat there sitting in front of the pool. I'm like, fuck, I made it.
Yeah. You got the house with the palm tree.
I got the house with the palm tree. This girl, an immigrant, living in the projects, is sitting in a house with palm tree in the pool.
House in California with a pool and palm trees.
And 10 blocks from the beach.
I didn't know that one. Those are news to me.
Yeah. But going back, losing that money was very painful. And I think it was also going into the partnership too that didn't have the same value as us. Yeah. But hey, we honor what we signed.
Yeah.
We're going to deliver.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, what keeps me going, and going back to that question, is perseverance. My dad is 74 years old, and he is there at the site every single day. Sun up, sun down, Monday through Sunday. No days off. My dad.
Yeah.
Working to make sure my brother and I walk away from this project with profit. And he has not paid himself for the past 1.5 years as we are going through this development. Tell me, who is doing this out there? Nobody. And so having a father like that lives with those words of unconditional love, perseverance, who am I to sit here and complain about the little things that are happening in my life?
This is powerful.
That I am frustrated about.
Wow, this is so powerful. Keep going.
So going back, the hardest deals and the failures in real estate actually made me stronger, because it made me reflect on how strong my family is and how we rally and we're going to come out alive. And if you don't have family, make your real estate your family. I remember Izzy was like, I sell my asset to save your ass. And I know he means it, because I would do the same. If I had to take a line of credit out and save our company, I would, because I'm not going to put my blood and sweat in something that I don't believe in. And I believe in us. And just the way you show up, that you closed on that wholesale deal, and you put every single penny back into our company without reservation. And that speaks volumes of who we are as a community.
Self-made, baby.
Self-made.
I just want to say shout out to your dad. I've met him a few times, and he's such a great individual. And also I want to shout out all the amazing dads.
Yes.
Because the fathers, because I'm a father myself, my daughter's 14 years old. Fathers really make a big difference in a girl's life, in a woman's life, especially the good ones. And if you're not in your child's life, then obviously you're not making the best impact towards her life. But I'm just saying, shout out to all the amazing fathers out there who are setting a high. The first person that a daughter falls in love with is her dad. And
I would say, when we talk about fatherhood,
yes,
you grew up without a father.
Yes. Right? Yes. And finish your thought. I'm going to tell you the craziest thing right now. This podcast is getting too crazy. I don't know if we're going to shoot another episode. This is too deep.
What I love about you is that you didn't grow up with a father, and you made sure that your daughter was not raised by a father who was in lack. I felt like you wanted to make sure that you gave her everything that you didn't have in your father.
For sure. I mean, just even being in, I don't know what it's like to have a father in my life. She doesn't know what it's like to not have a father. And I'll never understand what she feels, and she'll never understand what I feel. But in a way, you know, we heal each other. But I'm going to go deep right now. What's today? Today is Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
May 19th.
Monday. Sunday. What? I was crying. Yeah, I was crying all day Sunday morning. I think when did Drake's album come out? Was that Saturday?
I think it was Saturday.
Whenever Drake's album, his album came out on the 15th. I don't mean to make this about Drake. However, I am a BTC big timer. But whenever his album came out, the following morning I was in the gym and I was listening to it for the first time. And there was a line on there where he says, and I haven't memorized the lyrics. I've been listening to every song, but he talks about he says, I have to father my mother and treat my son's grandfather like my older brother. And that's the story of my life. Nobody will ever understand that, you know, and a lot of that is just, you know, how, you know, things that I have to deal with. But that same day, I'm in the gym, I'm listening to this album, I'm crying like crazy in the gym, so embarrassing. I told my dad for the first time in my whole life, I'm 35 years old, I'm breaking cycles, that I love him.
I remember you shared that. It was profound.
Did I tell you about it?
Yeah, you told me that you told him you loved him in the car ride. First time. And then how did he react when you said that?
We were doing through like text, so I don't know how he react, but I wouldn't be surprised if he cried or got emotional about it. But I think in the text message he was just like, "Oh, I love you too." But yeah, that's I just want to shout out like the dads, you know, and I did also want to say, even though, you know, my dad wasn't there for me, we have a really, really good relationship right now, you know, because I've forgiven him. He had a really tough upbringing. So I did a lot of the inner work, I did a lot of healing, I did a lot of therapy, and so that really helped me to understand myself, heal myself, but also heal the relationship between him and I. So
I love that because you have the opportunity and the environment to help you heal, grow, and break cycles.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
When he was raised.
Yep.
And for you to be able to have that and change the directory of the relationship between you and your father, you healed him while healing yourself.
Yep.
And now he can, and if he chooses to, be able to embrace that onto his children.
Yeah.
And that's a ripple effect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of unknown in my life right now. Like there's a lot, like right now, my life is very unknown.
I think it's a beautiful
because there's
thing.
so many things that I just don't know how, some things you just can't put into words. I don't know how to put it into words. The best thing I can say is my life is in an unknown place right now. I'm super excited for it every day. Whether something goes well or something doesn't go well, I just see it as a blessing. I give thanks for the good, and I give thanks for, you know, the challenging thing, the problems. Like I'm ready for whatever. I'm ready for whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm ready for everything, good or bad. I think everything happens in our favor. Life doesn't happen to us.
It happens for us.
Boom. Let's both share one final piece of encouragement for agents who are going through it.
If you're an agent and you're going through tough times right now, my advice for you is to remove yourself out of the equation. If you just take yourself out of the equation and see what you can give back to your community, what you can give back to someone else, go volunteer. Like I said, go give blood, go help your kids or your niece or your nephew at their school. If you pour into other people and not really think about all the problems you have, and you see someone smile because of your presence, of how much you're giving back.
I love this.
Then your energy will change. It will truly, truly change. And that's why I love volunteering. I speak at a high school every year at their career fair. And it was funny, I bumped into this kid who was at the career fair 2 years ago when I spoke. I'm sure he's watching. And he said, "Ty, I got into Stanford." And when you were there, I felt something. And it made me really appreciate the fact that you came and you talked about you came from nothing and you were able to do something big. And that is the true happiness. I removed myself completely out of it. It was all about giving back. And I went to Mel Robbins' conference, and at the end of her conference, she had us write down one thing. I
love this story.
So at the end of the conference, she told us to rip a piece of paper out and write down what we would want to do or achieve if money wasn't a factor. I would go to the high schools and the college and speak to the kids there and show them that I came from nothing and I looked like them. I went through what they had to go through, and I too can make it, and so can they. And that was my thing. I wrote down that I would be a speaker at a high school or a college. And so we ripped it up, and then we folded the paper, and we had to pass it to somebody else, and that note had to be passed 5 times. And I got someone's wish in my hand, and I opened the wish, and it said to be a mom. And I cried. I was bawling. I was like, my heart.
Just a bunch of crybabies.
My heart sank because I am blessed. I was able to be a mom 3 times. And every day I wake up, I'm so grateful. And it was such a reminder that I'm carrying someone's wish.
So powerful.
And I was able to pass on my wish to somebody else. Am I getting off topic?
No.
And so I would encourage you that what you're struggling today is someone else's wish. And remove yourself out of it.
Count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
You're saying in short. Count your blessings.
So that's what I got for you. What about you, Izzy?
Yeah. I've just kind of thought to a point where in like 2013, I had hit rock bottom. I had to move. I had to sell all my stuff. I lost. I thought I had friends. I didn't really have friends because they kind of just disappeared. And I had to move back in with my mom. And Chanel at the time, she's probably like 2 or 3. It was a rock bottom moment for me. I didn't even have a car. I couldn't even take her to like McDonald's. I would like cry because I'm like, dang. But there's so much beauty in it. But so I went back. I tried to go back to find like what's one piece of encouragement that I could give agents. And so I just went back to that moment. Also trying to put my agent hat. And I think for me, 2 things and I'll keep them simple and short. And these are things that I personally do. I didn't go to college, but I would say self-education. Whatever it is that you want to learn, or whatever it is that you're interested in, but you just don't know where to start. There's YouTube University nowadays. I did a lot of that. We have ChatGPT, we have Gemini. You just go on there, figure it out. And for me at the time, before YouTube was still a thing, it just wasn't as big as it is now. People didn't use it for what a lot of the stuff that we use it now. I just did a lot of self-educate. I mean, I must have read like close to 100 books in those months as I was trying to bounce back. And so I would say self-educate. If you're struggling, that's going to help you to get out of whatever situation that you're in. I mean, that's help. I mean, I was reading right before this. I try and read every single day, and so that gives me a lot of hope. It gets me in a good state of mind. I love to learn. And the other thing I was going to say, and I know that you can vouch on this, is I'm big on fitness. I really only do it just because I feel amazing. And so, if you're going through tough times right now, know that storms do not last. And, if you can, talk to one of your parents if you don't have the money and get a gym membership. That's what I did, when I was living back with my mom and I couldn't afford a gym membership. And, the beautiful thing about it that I learned through Robert Kiyosaki, and maybe this will give some of you some peace of mind, depending on what you're going through, is broke is temporary, poor is eternal. But I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I told her I love to work out, and so can you please just spot me for a couple months a gym membership? And so I got in the gym, so that helped me. And if you can't do that, then one of my other favorite things to do is run. It costs nothing to go run. Just put your running shoes and go outside. You're never going to regret a run. You're never going to regret going to the gym. So I know those might be a little bit cheesy, but I'm a very simple man if you really know me, and that's what I do every single day. So I'm gonna give you things that I truly do myself. I'm not gonna, try and be cool and say nothing fancy. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope this episode gave you some encouragement and practical wisdom to keep pushing forward. If you got value from this, make sure you like and subscribe. We drop new episodes every month. We'll see you on the next one.